Warm greetings. Welcome to today's session of Monday Munching and Musing with Women for Water. This session is conducted with the support of Water Resources Council of the Women's Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry and in collaboration with W4W and media partner Counterview. My name is Dr Bhargav and I'm the host for today and also leading the Wiki Water Resource Council at this moment in time, and also I'm also the founder director of W4W Foundation. Thank you so much. Today we have Avli, Verma and Afreen, Fatima to talk about their little journey that they have started in the water sector. But before that, I would like to give you a brief overview of what we actually do on Monday Munching and Musing with Women for Water. Here we are actually aiming for a conversation to share the worries and the wisdom by the women, for the women, of the women in the water sector. In here, we really hope to learn the water endeavors of the women in regular disciplined manner like a master class. And we are calling it a blue lips as our colloquial term. This is also done particularly to know the endeavors the women have taken in the Wiki Water Resource Council, where the council is already more than 100 members. We have actually had interaction with most of them. And now we are also reaching out to some seasoned water players or water entrepreneurs or hydropreneurs, as many people are using different words, and also emerging water enthusiasts as we have today, Avli, Verma and Fatima. We have also presented this work at the World Water Week, and it was supported by CV. So we are very proud, and it is also a scientific work which we are taking up through these conversations, where we really wish to come up with two clear outputs. One is this YouTube series, which is now 94 sessions old. We will close at 100 sessions to start writing the second output envisaged from this endeavor, which is writing a coffee table book, to make sure that we not only amplify the work of these wonderful women who have been walking the water sector or flowing in the water sector, but also to make sure society is well prepared and moves beyond the manuals in the water sector, where they only talk about women, where women is a vulnerable community. We want to showcase women as a powerful community in water. So that's the background. And before I invite both our speakers, usually we also have had one speaker when we have very seasoned player, but when they are younger people, we try to get two people so that there's a good conversation. Avli Verma is a researcher working at the intersections of riverine ecosystem, infrastructure development, and environmental governance. Her work examines how initiatives such as India's Inland Waterways Program transform freshwater systems and shape the lives and livelihoods of river-dependent communities. With a focus on equity and ecological justice, she is associated with Manthan Adhyayan Kendra and the Climate Agenda. Our second speaker, Afreen Fatima, is an architect, water professional, and PhD scholar working at the intersection of water systems, cultural landscapes, and climate resilience. Her work is rooted in the belief that water is not merely a technical resource to be supplied, but a foundational infrastructure shaping economies, settlements, and social equity, especially in the semi-arid regions she's focusing, places like Deccan. Both of them have been also speaker at W4W Foundation Signature Series Wednesdays for Water. So welcome back, girls. And this time we are not going to focus on water. Of course, you will discuss about your water journey, but our interest is to showcase who is Avli and who is Afreen in this conversation. All set? Very easy conversations. Take it easy. What we will do to just keep it like informal interaction or flowing interaction. Maybe one question I invite Avli to answer first, and then Afreen, and the second question I will turn the speaker sequence. To be fair to both of you, and just a disclaimer, which is a learning, since it is a scientific research, please do not be influenced by other speaker. Just speak your heart. That's the whole idea. We just want to tell the world that these wonderful women are doing some interesting work, but first know the woman. Knowing their work will need more time. 1 hour is also not enough to know you as person. All set?
Sure.
Okay, so very simple question to start with. And the first question is, have you already realized that you are going to live in the water sector for rest of your life? If not, Maybe it is knocking at the door and people like us are already seeing you there. Or if you have already realized it, when was that feeling? Not, it may not be a date or a day, but something that really concerned you or excited you, and you think that, aha, I can spend the rest of my life here. Have you already experienced it? We start with Avli this time. Avli.
Yeah, I mean, the short answer would be yes. I think I have, and I'm very glad that at least in this particular area of my life, I have clarity that I want to do this for the rest of my life. In what manner and in what form, I think that would evolving as we go. Um, I can't pinpoint a particular moment as such.
Yes, of
Um,
course.
yeah, but I think the spark to this started with my master's thesis,
Mhm.
where I was studying the impact of leachate from the Okla
Okay.
landfill site in Delhi on the groundwater in the vicinity of that landfill site. And uh, while doing my field work, while doing the technical work as well for testing the water quality, etc., I realized that this was not merely a scientific as such problem. This was a problem which went beyond questions of access, who gets to get water, where you're allowed to draw samples from whom you need permission to access certain sites, how do people access water in different localities of Delhi, and how does that water, when mixed with that leachate, how does it impact human health, especially children and women. I think that was the start, and I think I would like to also hear from Afreen.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Afreen, where are you at this moment? Are you willing to dedicate rest of your life, or you are still exploring, which is fine. I mean, we keep doing different things. Just to share with both of you, actually, I was not working on women until I got the responsibility of Wiki Water Resource Council. I was just focusing on water. Just because this responsibility came, I took it as a very big opportunity. So, yeah.
Yes. Okay, so there's a lot to learn, definitely, from your lead, Mansi. So the knowing that where the spark came from, or where when the decision formed, I would say um, it came in gradually, not through a sudden moment, and it was through interactions when I was at field and when I am interacting with the locals. I was interacting to extract the cultural landscapes. And when in my own stories, when I have seen that the old city barbs, okay, so the barbs had their identity and how nothing of it has remained, all is lost. And nothing of these stories or the cultural parallels of the people are told. And the access to the indigenous knowledge system, the traditional knowledge system, has become a challenge. So here is where I bring the water sector interest, and here is where I found my interest.
Interesting. I'm going to ask a follow-up question to both of you, as in what is cooking these days. And um, you both have been field researchers and writing also. So, what kind of tasks, as a woman now, really you feel challenging working in the water sector, and what kind of tasks are very, very interesting? Of course, challenging can be also interesting, but both ways. But something that really moves you, or you really want to go deeper and deeper. So maybe we start with Afreen this time because she's already there. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what makes me go deeper into the sector? I would say what keeps me going ahead is how rewarding it is.
Hmm.
It quenches your thirsts in every possible manner. This knowledge which we receive is so rewarding in its way, because we're talking about a sector of knowledge, water, which has a social front, okay, an environmental front, a health, a medicinal front, and every possible manner, it is very, very fulfilling. So it has nothing but been a very rewarding session for me so far. Um, what was the challenges which we are facing is like there are some, because each as every sector gets exhausted, and as every knowledge gap gets covered, people and their claim of the knowledge is something which is what I am finding, that the originality of the issue, even though we are talking about a water resource issue which is not completely dealt with, but the claim of, people might think I'm doing it for fame, but isn't like that. That is also one thing which I.
That is interesting to hear, which is very common, by the way. Avli, how is it? What are you cooking these days?
So I've been studying the Ganga River, and I've been
Mm-hmm.
traveling along it as I when we were speaking about this event, I told you that I'm on field. So I've been traveling along the Ganga. I traveled the entire stretch from Banaras till Bhagalpur this time.
Wow.
And I went to Vikramshila Dolphin Sanctuary. So this very aspect that you get to go visit these places which are so pristine, and there what you experience, like we're talking about water, but I'm speaking about river, which is also its sediments
Absolutely.
and the life which is there. So I think that really, that feeling of awe that the river gives me every time I'm near a river bank or an ancient ghat in Banaras, now all renovated, or I'm looking at like bridges in Patna which are just overflowing.
Yes. Woo.
So it's such a wonderful, I think, question that keeps me in this domain, is that what is the present imagination of river looks like, and to be able
Mm,
to sort of pull its strands, you have to follow it along its length and over again,
mm,
and where it meanders, the wetlands and the tributaries. So it's the process of getting interconnected,
mm,
and finding those loops is what makes me so drawn to this. I think I would
mm.
say, yeah.
Very interesting. Because in India we are not getting water educated, do you really see that gap? Because I mean, even after 30 years, I call myself in the water sector accidentally, because I started my undergraduate master's PhD thesis on urban lakes. And
Hmm.
that's my main research area, to be honest, not really a woman or gender issues.
Hmm.
But having not being educated in the sector, how comfortable do you feel? And when I'm talking about water, it of course you really raised a very important point that it is also sediment. It's not only water. If it is a river, and this I also faced recently in Warden Sea. How comfortable do you feel actually working in this domain of whole biodiversity, river, water, soil? Unfortunately, soil is seen as land now. We don't even use the word soil.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you feel when you are speaking to an expert who we see as water expert? I don't claim to be water expert, but I'm sure you meet many of them. Where do you see we stand, or you stand for that matter, in terms of having confidence in working in this sector? How do you feel about it?
Yeah.
There's so much to learn, of course. Even now, I feel I still don't know anything, but I'm sure. I mean, when you go to do your projects or your research, you are seen as an expert. You yourself have to also deliver something little, knowing little more than others. But how do you feel working in this sector if you are not educated about it? It's like a surgeon doing a surgery without learning surgery.
Yes.
For me, it is like that. Go ahead. Yes.
No, I like to answer this to that.
Sure. Go ahead.
So yes, there is
And
no.
Afreen, sorry, I just to bother you a little bit. If you can sit a little back because your head is cutting from the video, so it's not nice. Yes, much better. Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
So, this is better.
yes, better. Please continue. Sorry.
Yes. Um, I would say yes, there is no formal education, and we acknowledge that because, especially even if you're talking about an urban planner or an architect or a construction manager, nobody is very well informed on this sector. The only way it is actually taken care of is through it being addressed as a service, a resource management. So only
Hmm.
one dimension is addressed. First of
Good
all,
point.
this particular multi-dimensional view, which we see, like how you said, there is sediments, there is biodiversity, there is different factors, and obviously people, of course, which are real. So these
Yes.
factors, these multiple variables have to be assessed with thorough scientific inquiries, and nobody is formally trained here. And this is one section
Yes.
which is here right now facing this challenge. So yeah, so scientific inquiry must be complete.
Yeah, just to add, because we come from the same background, Afreen, for last 20 years, I have been trying to to really beg at every platform possible in architecture and planning that at least start elective and start one credit course on water resource. In such an important science or discipline, we still don't teach water. Anyway, we talk about water education some other day. Avli, how do you feel?
Yeah, I have a different spin, like in
Sure.
terms of when you ask the question, how did I seek water? Because I'm also not a person who's learned marine science or has
Yes.
basically learned maritime engineering. But
Yes.
here I am looking at navigational infrastructure on rivers in
Yes.
India for the last 8 years, and when we started looking at this whole thing, it all started with a particular bill which was
Hmm.
getting passed in the Lok Sabha, and then eventually it became the National Waterways Act.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and then we studied like the interventions. So I'm very glad that I had people like how I'm trained at Manthan. So for example,
Yes.
my mentor, Shripad Dharmadikar.
Yes. Shripad is there.
Yeah,
Yes.
so he taught me how to, and he tried it best at least to try to teach me how to
Of course. Of course. So we are
critically,
learning by doing also. Yes.
yeah, learning by doing and critically examining different aspects of the project and trying to understand it thoroughly from the government's perspective first before making any
Hmm.
assumptions, and then
Hmm.
trying to understand it by going to people, talking to different people. And then here again you
Hmm.
have different water educators, which also include
Hmm.
these agencies who come up with these projects,
Yes.
but also the local people, how they are relating to the river, how different systems in bureaucracy, how they are looking at it from different perspective. There
Hmm.
are some professors, there are some people working on the ground on different aspects of water, but they end up letting you know deeper into the whole process of how a project is implemented, and also how it impacts the riverine ecosystem.
Yes.
So in that sense, like you have to go looking for like different kind of it's a work of transdisciplinary nature, I would say. So you would have to
Hmm.
work with people who have different expertise. These could be different kind of scientific communities. These could be lawyers who have studied a particular
Hmm.
section in the law which deals with water pollution or with navigation. So I think in that sense, if you do, I have been lucky that I have gotten to know many of these organizations and people and sort of collaborate with them as well. Uh, and also try to look out because when we spoke about curriculum as such, of course, like in majority basis there won't be, but there are excellent programs like the one which is run by I think WII, a new
Hmm.
master's program in freshwater ecosystem. And
Yes.
similarly there are like I met a professor in Bhagalpur, Professor Ruchi Shri, and her perspective on water politics, she's a person in political science department, but her perspective on how we look at rivers, on smaller
Hmm.
tributaries, that was so insightful, and it added to what I was trying to do there in Bihar.
Hmm.
So yeah, I would end there.
Yeah, there are
Okay.
I really appreciate like Jeannie Mukherjee. She was there with you. last time. I've always followed her work. And apparently, NPTL is also went ahead and given Genius a program, water sustainability and society,
Yes,
one program. Yes. So maybe the
very
demand
good.
and supply decides whether or not it floats. But then, yes, there are windows. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Water is taught in so many different disciplines, and my concern always is that it is so anthropocentrically taught that everything is about how humans can consume. And by the way, we are also starting from IIT Madras very soon on urban lakes, MOOC course, NPTEL course, like. And
Wonderful.
it's important that we try to gather scholarship from here everywhere possible. And trust me, doing these 94 sessions is also for me a scholarship opportunity which I'm learning from all of you. What are the possible ways you can engage? How do they juggle their engagements in different ways? And that brings me to the next question on because you are, I will call you as emerging scholars in the field, or scientists or practitioners, whatever you may like to call yourself. I don't know how much you are at this moment having the responsibility of taking care of family, taking care of yourself, your aspirational, aspects, your passion. How do you manage your everyday life? Who wants to go first, Avli?
No, no, I think I would let Afreen go first.
And so women are expected to be goddesses, multitasking. They cannot compromise on any role. Women are expected to deliver at each front. I know everybody is done, but then women have their own, self and the cycles and of being. So, as a mother of two, and I have two teenage daughters. So
Okay.
yeah, with a working mind of their own, yes. So there are deliverables at the home front and at work front, and I am of I'm here taking middle path, and to me it is a teaching medium, the water and its cycle, and how wherever I go and wherever I learn from about water, it has been nothing but how regenerating this water aspect is. The water gives life and water teaches you to be more, it is a feminine agent in a manner. And then I feel acknowledged in its way. And I have been rewarded to play the role and I feel blessed, yes. Alhamdulillah.
Okay, important, because when I'm discussing with this question with seasoned players, I mean people of my age. To be honest, I use the word seasoned. I'm actually asking this question. I'm tweaking it a little bit and asking because we all start a career with this baggage of superwoman syndrome. Like you want to do everything perfect, and I will not be surprised if you are at that stage in your life. To be honest, I didn't ask it that way because over time, over the years, we learned how to manage. So I'm actually asking the seasoned players, what are your mantras? How are you now balancing, and are you still carrying that superwoman syndrome? Because I never carried that syndrome, so I am in a way I feel much lighter in life. But I know people who have extended families, who are very aspirational. They design something in their life in how to manage everything, or some people do with struggle. Of course, it doesn't come easy. How is it with Avli right now?
Um, wow. Like this is the question that I've been dealing with, and now that it's like it's the season to sort of retrospect and be reflective about how the time has been. Um, no, I don't think it's very easy to balance all aspects of your life. And but I've come to realize that the most fundamental responsibility that I have is towards myself. And as long as I'm able to support myself, I'll be able to then support other aspects of my life. So in that aspects, if I'm able to maintain some stability in how my everyday being is, I think I can then take
Yes.
care of other things, which are of course there. The responsibility is there, and I'm very happy as well to have those sort of things to do. I love those aspects also. But yeah, like I can't put myself under the pressure of being superwoman and being perfect at all aspects of of my life at all times. I pick and choose.
Very sooner you learn it, better you are
I
actually.
don't even aim to feel like a woman right now. I just aim to feel like a person and just be.
That's also very important. So many people have asked me this
That's
question.
very
You, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Afreen. Yeah.
yeah, that's very safely said, actually.
Yeah.
Thank
Yes,
you.
because this question has been posed earlier also to me on why study women. Women, anyway, there is so much of focus on women empowerment and so on and so forth. I said yes, but I have a responsibility on hand, and I might use that opportunity to learn something new in my I'm already 4 years as national president at Wiki Water Resource Council, so I should do something. And I don't think knowing 100 plus or 120 women in 4 years is a big task, but it is still some task, or doing something to know about how women across the country are conducting their lives, because it has not been easy for me either, and it is not going to be easy for you as well. But then it is good to learn, because then we can share that sisterhood amongst each other. We can learn to know who is doing what, how do they manage, and there are certain things. And especially the fact that if you want to have more women in the field, which is I'm slowly slipping into the next round of questions to both of you. If you really want to have more women in the field, you need to really have this as a common platform where more women and also men have the acceptance that there are women in the water sector. So my next round of question is that, have you had more experience or exposure of working with women leaders or women, the very strong leaders who are working in the water sector or otherwise? And or you really see that a woman still stands as a minority in the sector? What is your experience? And I would like to really hold the next part of the question once I hear from you, because I have to tweak these questions a little bit when I'm speaking to the younger people. Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Can I go first?
Yeah,
Sure, please go ahead. Yes.
Oh, sad answer is no.
Yes. So
I
we
have
are, we
not.
have not changed in 30 years when I started. I'm 30 years
Yeah.
old in the field.
Though I see some efforts,
Yes.
but it's not up to the mark, I would say. And this is something that I've felt because I've been on certain committees, or on like in terms of this work that I've been doing, where like there are very often very less people, women who have the veto power. They might be there in numbers, again in minority, but they might be there, but they might not have the decision making power or the
Yes.
power to influence the decision that
Yes.
much. So the sad reality in both, like, and that's the same that I see in government offices also. There
Yes. In
it's even
many
worse.
fields actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I just actually exclude medical, law, or one or two profession, or academics for that matter, everywhere it is minority.
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay, so then I will hold my next question. How is it with Afreen's experience so far,
yes.
both on field and on off in office on desk
Yeah.
work?
As you pointed out, that towards the year, academics, women are there. They become a kind of a leader who people and students follow. But then when we are talking, even with policy making, to some extent they are there leading, but not in the field. We are not given enough share into the field, because somewhere we turn out to be too asking for our place when we are there. So yeah.
We are in transition. You have to ask, what bothers me most in many of the events. The whole event is organized by women, and what really then annoys me most is that the woman is comparing the session, bringing things in the tray, and all men are sitting on the stage and they are being garlanded, they are talking. I have really
Oh my
grown
God.
past that
Oh my
situation.
God.
I mean, it's everywhere. It's everywhere, even if it is in architecture and planning for that matter. And I just want to share with both of you, like I'm doing Women in Water, I'm also running a parallel research on women in architecture. And they are also, even though there are many architects in the waters, in the discipline, the situation is not that good. Although in academics there are more women, but then we start looking at how many directors, principals, and HODs, then the question starts from there when we talk about leadership. So let me just ask a question on leadership to both of you, because leadership as such is a gender neutral position, and then you will also get to know, I was trying to answer it in the previous question, why this conversation for me becomes important is that to normalize the presence of women in the water sector, maybe it is going to be a small contribution to increase the number of women in the water sector, that it is okay for men to accept women in the water sector. Actually, they are there, but it's just that whether they are there in the decision making or not. So if a leadership position is gender neutral, which means we are talking about a pyramidal situation in any setup. So if the mass is or the base is stronger, then there is more chance of women rising the ladder, or it comes to some women by luck, some women by nepotism. Many women I know are doing very well, but then when you look at the background, you see that they have been supported very well by the family, or they are coming from the family lineage or something like that. No problem with that, but just to understand what is that leadership, what are those skills, not is, what are those leadership skills that both of you really see is extremely important at this point in time, in the water sector in general. And you need not look up to only women leadership. We are talking about leadership skills. And this question is specifically asked to you to understand what skills that a person carries inherently, genetically or biologically. Yeah. And what are the skills that can be nurtured in women to ensure that more women are able to take that leadership roles, or they have more acceptance? What is a good leader in your idea? Who is going to go first? I leave it to both of you now. Let it
That's
flow.
a wonderful question, man. That's a wonderful.
Yeah.
Avli, would you like to go ahead first?
That's okay, I can go next.
Okay. Um, so the qualities a woman by default harbors, and then what molds her into a leader. This is a very direct and a good question, Manvi. So, yes, we have definitely the ability to influence policy and to lead. Water management has come to us naturally in many ways. So, in in the household front, we have always managed water and sanitation by default. And when it comes to a bigger framework, we belong naturally. Now, how to remain is only through, reframing that the intercultural aspects, they come back and they remain, this interdisciplinary lens of water being dissected, and it has to remain. And what is a good leader is obviously a leader who gives scope for the voices of others to remain, if we are definitely going to acknowledge the local fronts, because water is never something which is transported from another country or another place. Water is always local. It's always a local story. So it has always belonged to the people, it belongs to the land, it belongs to this place. So if we can give their voices back to them, then that's a good thing. Yes.
Wonderful. Avli, what is your take on a good leadership?
Um, I think I would say it from the perspective of how leaders are also assumed to be. Uh,
Yes.
and what does this act of being a leader leads to.
Absolutely. That's the question. Yes.
Yeah, I think in those aspects also, for example, it may be like called feminine to be like to listen before you really speak. Like it follows to like also in manners like you need local consultation before you do any kind of project anywhere. So you
Absolutely.
have to have that openness, you have to listen, and you also need to as Afreen also I think suggested in her comment that you need to be open in terms of also making the processes more bottom up, and also from the aspect of instinct and care, like those aspects also are very much part of a good leader, because you might need to be reactive, or you might need to have a reaction to something which has happened, because we are living in such uncertain times of climate calamities and whatnot. So
Mm.
also trying to understand it from that aspects of uncertainty with that vulnerability and resilience. So you have to build more resilience in women. You have to also increase, as you said, the base, so that there are more voices, more agency. So I think all those aspects would lead to maybe
Yeah.
leadership qualities like it, that those are
So,
the things resonating.
yeah, that's good to know. But I would like to ask a little, a side question to this as do you hold any women leaders as your, where whom you can look up to? It's not necessary you have to have. And do you think there are these leadership courses or leadership training programs, women empowerment programs? How do you see these things, or how do you see some women leaders? If you know somebody, of course, you are free to name them as well.
If river is a person, I would say Ganga.
Okay. Okay.
But also saying that, of course, like you find those aspects, if not the entire package, you find those aspects in different people you meet. I would say many people. For example, I can name those people, but I don't think that's the point.
No,
But
you are free. You are free. Whatever you like to explain.
no. So there are many people with whom I've met, and I've learned that, okay, for example, I met this TFO recently
Hmm.
in Patna, and wonderful forest officer, the kind of not the regular people who wouldn't know so much about the field, but she had such great insights of working in the system and trying to change something, and she was so excited when her conditions were included in I think they were creating some STP in Bhagalpur. So like people like those as well are there. People from Narmada Bachao Andolan, many women. You and I both know them. Uh,
Yes.
uh,
I'm trying to get Medha Tai for 100th session. Let's see if I can convince her.
Yeah, that would be nice. And also, I think the whole aspect of this river sisterhood that we have, like there are a
Hmm.
series of women defenders, and uh, I was part of this initiative called Women and River Alliance, which was basically done by International Rivers and Women Earth Reliance, which brought together like people working on rivers, women working on rivers from different
Hmm.
countries, and basically put them all together, train them how to be better, like more secure river defenders in so many ways. And similarly, we are also co-coordinating some networks on Brahmaputra. For example, Brahmaputra is not only in India, it's a transboundary river. So how do you put like all those experiences of women defending the rivers in a particular string? So yeah, I think I would end here.
Okay. Afreen, do you have anything to add here? Any role models or any other thing you would like to add here? Because for me, I think I need to hear a little bit more on leadership from both of you.
Yeah, it's a see what I admire about women is their spirit, and I just love the person they are inside. Always giving. always loving. And I have seen my mom. I loved her spirit because where I always came along picking up the stories. The spirit of a woman who's fighting back, so resilient, still giving, delivering again and again, no matter how much expectations I put on her, and yet she delivers. So I just admire that about women. And as even the locals, in their own manner, when I was in the field visits of Batkama, and my personal friends also, the women friends who are here, giving me insights. These are senior ladies, 50, 60 plus, and they are here giving me thorough insights about the locals. And me talking to the elder women. And some names, Madar Mai, okay, and some names like Sarah Ahmad also, how she gathers the spirit back with the Living Water Museum, bringing people back together, that spirit of delivering and the resilience. This is what I beautifully deliver. And one thing also I have acknowledged is that the songs, okay, the local folklore songs also acknowledge the spirit of women.
Yes, absolutely. So well put by both of you on leadership. And this, I would like to continue from the point which I was telling you earlier, that people have asked me this question: why do you want to do this about women? Honestly speaking, I also do want to do a session on men in water, but I will first finish the women in water
Not
first.
fair. I know.
But yeah, but the thing is, for me, it is also important personally, other than my responsibility at Wiki Water Resource Council, is the very idea of leadership needs to be redefined. And that can be only redefined when there are more women on the table. You know, you are talking about, I mean, women have been talking about empathy, women have been talking about care, but when you are sitting in a bunch of with men, and the discussion is completely different on leadership. When you are and the very thing goes well with also the definition of successful. Who is a successful person? When you are sitting with a bunch of men, the definition is completely different vis-a-vis when you are sitting with a bunch of women. So here I mean, the whole idea is to understand how women looks at the world, because we know how men looks at the world. And the only word I love about men, to be honest, and I'm saying it on record here, is man-made disaster, because that's what they have done very well in the society. So if we have to redefine something, and for me, two important concept needs to be redefined. One is leadership and one is successful, because everything masculine, everything monetary is successful at this point in time. So I feel that having more women on board in decision making may actually empathize many of the things which I am also learning from all the women discussions here, and also the very definition of having yeah, woman leadership will change the entire approach of doing things. And the acceptance, because I know that many women themselves do not have acceptance for women leadership. Forget about men accepting women leadership. So these are some common challenges which I have learned before I started doing this research. So a lot of desktop research has gone in this work. Although I'm putting this conversation in a very candid manner, it's a structured questions. Afreen, you want to say something? Yeah.
Yeah. The point which you are saying, that when we come out in the front on the desk, you see that the spirit is different. You're confronted with the questions, the men handling situations. Yes, that actually, yeah, जो दिखता है वो दिखता है. So ये यहाँ पर सिर्फ पैसा ही तो दिखता है. So they all everything that works is profit oriented. Yes.
Thankfully we have Mother India and Mother Earth. And honestly speaking, if I have an ounce of achievement in life, I would like to redefine success and leadership in this country, if not in the world. And that can only happen if there are more women on board here. That brings me to the very next section of having a woman as a mass, having more women in the sector. And my question is about network platforms, associations, councils. And this is a question I really need to ask through this Water Resource Council program, which I am conducting. Are you part of any network, platform, or association? I know we are part of Council of Architecture, Afreen, but that is almost not like an association. I don't see still how Council is helping me grow as a professional. So, sorry, Council of Architecture, but otherwise, if you are, and how do you see the role of these platforms? Because there is some kind of uh, I will say aspiration at Wiki Water Resource Council to increase the council membership so that at least we can start talking about the presence of women, because I don't see there are any specific councils or platforms or network in this country at this moment in the water sector. And we have been raising a lot of voice in different platforms when we see manuals around. We say that if you need women speakers, do let us know. We have council members, we can ask them their availability, and so on and so forth. And naming shaming is also part of the game, to be honest. But if you are part of other councils, I would also like to invite you to become part of the Wiki Water Resource Council. We are 100 plus members now, including young council members. So they get their state responsibilities to organize different events. I would like to know your engagement with other councils or platforms or associations, and what younger generation like you people would like to expect from the councils, that they can help, association or council, you can name anything, not help as such, but is there any expectation, or do you think these platforms can help women increase the mass, or excel in their whatever they are doing? What's your experience so far? So this is only to really improve the performance of Wiki Water Resource Council, or what all we should be doing. Because I'm still in the learning stage. I mean, it took me 4 years to know my members. And also, this is a kind of a program to increase the membership drive. So,
Okay. तो ढूंढने से खुदा भी मिलता है ना. हमने तो ढूंढे, as per our interests, as per our parallels. Right now, I am with the Architecture, Culture and Spirituality Forum. I'm a fellow at this forum, and they have a Varanasi meet at January, and it is in IIT Bhubaneswar. And Amita Sinha will be there with us, and other scholarly people, all writing parallelly with myths and placemaking. Okay, so we are talking about the spirituality in water and heritage sector. Apart from that, that we are dissecting the Varanasi scape and compiling a journal, which is a Peter Francis journal, which we will be compiling. There is the e-commerce water and heritage sector I am involved in. Yes, and the Living Water Museum Fellowship is also of the Deccan chapter I am involved in. Yes.
Yeah. So how do you see their role in shaping you?
Yes. So one thing is motivating is that, yes, there is an umbrella of finding people with similar interests and going back to them and aligning your interests. That definitely helps. That really helps. Because when we are architects, we see the commercial aspect wherever we go, even in the colleges of architecture, the BArch and the MA courses which we teach, it is all COA oriented coursework which are all based on deliverables. And now what has happened with the NEP 2020, it's all about keeping it event oriented, and we are countering this employment opportunity. We do not have enough employment opportunity in our sector. Countering all of this and making sense of finding, still being in your interest zone, it's very challenging. So these platforms definitely help. And your platform, I find you always kind of inspiring, because it takes a lot of courage to speak, and you have always spoken well, in platforms. Yes. Yeah.
Your voice was breaking, but I hope it will be okay. Avli? Yeah. We heard you
Yeah.
until your last word, so no problem. Yeah.
No, so I'm part of many networks, the India River Forum, Nadi Ghati Manch, though not very active there. Some groups on riverfront development,
Hmm.
also building, like as I said, sort of co-coordinating a network of women defenders on the Brahmaputra and basin, including Barak
Hmm.
also. But yeah, like I think in terms of what would it lead to more women in leadership and also more women in as a mass, as you said, like if I'm allowed to say that, I think information is power, access is power, and recognition is also like it also adds to
Absolutely.
power. So like if you manage all those things, informing people or creating a database where there is information, there is
Hmm.
a knowledge, this thing where people could access, everybody could
Hmm.
access, especially women are encouraged to apply
Hmm.
in certain fellowships. I think all of those things would give you different routes through which you can, like, there can't be one way. But in so
Hmm.
many ways, we have to empower more and more women to come and take up these positions because, of course, there is need. There are new
Hmm.
alliances coming up. There is going to be more work, unfortunately, in both water pollution, in climate change related impacts also, in
Hmm.
disaster management, like in all of these things, of course, water related things. And of course, like you have so many different dimensions to it. Here, I'm working
Yeah.
on rivers. Afreen is working on mostly on subsurface water as well as rivers. You have all this variety of things that you are doing and leading. So of course, like all these things would lead to and also allowing for like different ways, newer ways, slower ways
Hmm.
maybe, and also asking questions. For example, creating a need assessment sort of exercise with your people in the council and asking them like where what is your expectation, and these are the ways we can help. Out of all these things, what would you like us to support you with? So offer support as well if we can, and also yeah, like
That's important part
elevate,
actually. What can you offer?
Yeah.
elevate, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Usually, when I'm asking the seasoned players, I also ask them, what would you like to offer to, or what do you offer to such councils and networks? Because that's also an important point, because it's not always to get anything out of it, but you also have to give.
Yeah, and
Because
also networks, if I can add before I forget,
please,
networks
please go ahead.
tend to also go a little slower. So you might need some
Yes,
facilitators, some accelerators who can help you through these processes.
yes.
So like
You
also
need a lot of patience also, huh, to
patience, yes.
manage and maintain a network. So
Yeah.
that's lot. And yes, very well said, Avli, that these processes are very slow. You really have to trust and believe that it is going to work, because when I look back, because my tenure as a national president is going to end in December, and I am hoping that new president comes in the Water Resource Council and gives a new direction. When I look back, I feel I have not done enough. I could have done this, I could have done that. But while sailing through that situation and trying to do other things, because this is not my main research work, this is my something which I am doing as a responsibility, or out of passion to know more people and make more friends. Because I have never known you before being inviting you as speaker in our platforms, and yeah, and hope to do more work in future. That's the whole idea. In fact, people have been asking that if we are running W for W membership also. I said it's not a membership drive, but yes, we definitely appreciate our speakers. That brings me to the last round of question, but this is also a time, because there are some participants here. If they want to ask any question, you may please limit your question to asking about these wonderful women, about their life in water, and not really what they work in the water, because we for that we have different session talking about the subject matter of water. I see Muhammad Atikur has raised a digital hand, and I will request others also to raise their hands, or also have a chat box chat, or you can just open your video. We will appreciate opening video and asking the question. so that the person is visible when we are on YouTube live. Atikur, if I am pronouncing your right name correctly, please go ahead.
Am I audible now?
Yes, audible. Yes, you are audible. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Mansi. I have seen you in the Sarnet program, maybe
Okay.
once back. That time I'm following you, and you are doing some fantastic work.
Thank you
And
so much.
glad to be
Yeah.
present here today, and hear some insight from Miss Alvi and Arfin. I'm from Bangladesh. I'm working as a socialist in research farm. So here, same thing, almost same thing in Bangladesh and India and in the subcontinent. We are facing the difficulty to come march from the women in the leading side. So basically, this is not a question actually, but my queries, my understanding, like to share that here we also facing the scenario, but gradually is improving in technical sector, also in the leading sector. Women are working side by side, and we are quite happy to be with them as a team member. But thing is that
Absolutely.
In future, what are the things that we can look on more focus that in a team we can do a good productive way. So here, what are your thoughts? Am I clear from
Wonderful.
my question?
Yeah, very good question, and thank you. And let me just tell you, Atikur, that actually last year I made a chapter in the book of 10 years of water discourse in Bangladesh, where I have already proposed that Bangladesh should also come up with a water resource council for women leadership. And you know, Farah Kabir is already leading
Yes.
Action Aid Bangladesh, and it will be good. And I'm sure many women leaders in Bangladesh are also trying hard to start working. We had a meeting last year, actually, how to go about starting a water resource council in Bangladesh. But it's a very good question. How do we work together? Maybe we ask the young girls to respond, and then I will also try to respond to your question. Afreen and Avli, would you like to respond a little bit? How do you really have more, and how do you work together in a setup?
Yes, sir. Am I audible? Yeah.
Yes, you are audible. Go ahead, Afreen.
Yeah. Um, um, it's a good question. And actually, I'm glad that when you're coming all the way from your place and you're representing it, I would say that the uniqueness of your land and the stories of water and the aspects of water, even if it is the disputed aspects, if acknowledged and if told, that is also a story said. So this is one manner in which you could, look at, us finding you in the map, and then yes, I can tell you that yes, Atik has the story to tell you. And then I would say this would make sense about, answering your question. Yes.
Avli?
Of course, the rivers are transboundary. I was talking about Brahmaputra and Ganga. Like both the rivers basically culminate in their journey in Bangladesh with the formation of this beautiful like Sundarbans, which also both the countries share. So you can imagine the number of like it's endless, the cultural and it's so fluid also. And there are more cooperations than conflict, I am imagining. Um, so yeah, like there are ways in which different organizations have worked together and they would be working together. I know of this one program by TROSA, I think, which is Transboundary Rivers of South Asia.
Yeah,
Uh,
you have put it in the chat box. I see that. Yeah.
yeah, so I was so excited because just yesterday I saw their LinkedIn post wherein they had basically formed this beautiful network of women working on the rivers of Bangladesh and bringing them together on that platform. So I was really excited to share that aspect. But of course, like there would be ways, and there are ways in which we can work together.
Actually, Bangladesh in South Asia leads by example when we talk about women in water, for that matter. We have to learn from Bangladesh in that sense. But one point you raised very well, Avli, that because Padda is there, and I'm also Bengali, by the way, so I can talk a little bit with Atikur Mollik in Bangla, for that matter. But the thing is, in both the countries, we are in minority in women leadership in India, to be honest, and Bangladesh fares much better when we look at the role of women. And there are many programs which are happening, which are more women centric, and women are leading. But Bangladesh also has other side of the problem as well, that the women are also facing lot of salinity ingress problems, which is also there in Sundarban in India side as well. And women have also had more voice. And one more thing, in demographically, Bangladesh also has a very good sex ratio. Women fare very well in terms of population. So I am hoping that they have more voice, because I see more women leaders per capita, if proportionately. So working together, for me, I think again, Bengal as a whole culture, from East Bengal and West Bengal, I see there is more acceptance of women leadership. I mean, having born and brought up as a Bengali, I mean, I'm not really discriminating person as such. I don't like to recognize myself by region or religion, but I feel that there is this inherent nature in both Bengals, which was one Bengal at some point in time, that there is more acceptance for women leadership, or women decision making, or women being more equal. I will not say leadership also. The society is far too equal as compared to rest of the country. I'm sure, Atikur, you will agree to that with me. So we have learned more skills to work together than the rest of the India, to be honest. I can keep it simple like that. If there are any questions from anyone, or any suggestion, any point you want to make, this is the time. And also, this is also a time. If you both have any question for me, this is your only time. Otherwise, I will pose the last question, which is very simple. Any questions from both of you to me?
Yeah, I do have a question, Mansi.
Okay, go ahead. Keep it simple, okay?
I want to learn from you. And how do you keep your spirit on? How do you keep it on? Yes.
Oh, I love my work. That's the only thing I can say. Um, I think I'm just designing my life and my work every day. There is nobody telling me what to do. And that keeps me fresh and energetic. And I'm always dreaming and ideation. See, this is not a project I am obliged to do. I'm doing it because I thought it is required. I don't know how it will be useful. I am doing it because I love to know people. I love to make friends. I love to learn from people. And the fact that water education was not there, I found a big gap in my own knowledge. And I had to design sensitively, sit and see how I can design something where people come and teach me for free, and I learn it for free. So having more than 400 sessions, online open access, it's for everyone. But I don't think I would have learned from more than 650 teachers paying not even 650 rupees. I mean, if somebody is teaching me for free, and that has been my life, that I'm paid to learn, I don't think I can ask anything more from life. So maybe I am blessed, I don't know, but it is also how you design your life. So I am never bored, to be honest. I'm always enjoying what I'm doing, because I'm deciding what I'm doing. And in business terms, people ask me, what is the impact of your work? Honestly speaking, I have not started measuring the impact of the work. And I go back to Gita, karma kiye ja, phal ki chinta mat kar. Those who are interested to measure impact, please go ahead and measure impact, because I have been asked this question and I take it very seriously. But probably I don't have the capacity to measure impact, how people speaking on W for W is benefiting from speaking, or how someone listening the lecture is benefiting from the lecture. I am benefiting for sure. If you ask me, hearing from 650 people, I feel like a bank of knowledge myself. It's like a fixed deposit I have. Of course, it's an online open access education for everyone, but I have heard all of you through my naked ears, it, without filter. And that for me is the richest institutional memory I'm carrying with me every day. From session one, when Rajendra ji was there, he inaugurated our session, to today, I have enjoyed every session with same enthusiasm, and I don't know, there is no medicine for it. It is just that it is something new coming up today, and I only take out time to learn. Dedicated time, masterclass to learn. As I said in the beginning, this is like I could have done this session anytime based on your convenience, but I disciplined that today I'm going to learn. Wednesday I'm going to learn. Rest of the time I can work. So that's it. That keeps me going, and learning for me is blessing.
Yes.
And thank you. That brings me to the last question. I request you to give me a very short answer as a message to younger generation, and we want to create a snippet out of it, or what do you call, like 1 minute thing. And the message can be in two parts, 2 minutes each. One message is why they should join this sector, water sector or your specific sector, why they are required. And it is not gender specific, to be honest, the first question. Why you would like to invite them to join your company. And the second question is what simple behavioral change one can bring to engender the sector, means to make more room for women, or to make women more comfortable, encouraging to contribute in the water sector so that they feel they are doing some good work. Simple question, but you have to frame your answer. And don't worry, I mean, I just request you to keep it short so that we can use it. Yeah. Okay, who goes first, Avli or Afreen?
I can go.
Avli goes first. Okay.
So why they should join water sector? I would only talk from my experience, and the dog, the neighbor's dog is also he's also willing to add something. Afreen, do you want to go first? I'm sorry if this.
No issues, no issues.
Yeah. So, see, we are completely addressing the issues here of, that there are jobs which are not yielding, there are degrees which are not yielding money. There are, we are addressing the complete exhausted scenario. Then, at the same time, we are here to tell you that this particular learning platforms which we eventually get, that this is the persistence of existence. You have to find your direction. You are talking about, what we are facing each day, the climate resilience which has to come into the play, the social resilience, the cultural resilience. So we are talking about that. It's not about just water management. Here, if you are entering the sector, we are talking about, leading the way for water management, to acknowledge the resource. So this is why you should enter the sector, to form path for others. And if you become the change, then only the change happens. One is that. And and then your second part of the question is what works. What the second part of the question is?
Simple behavioral change we must bring to make women more, engender the water sector, in other words.
Yes. So that again, for the women, I would say that this is the time, that if water conversations can be led. Water resource is about leading. It's not about management, just management. And it is not about the fact that we are happy with our simple qualifications at masters, bachelors, and we are not about, finishing it there. If we can add to the society in a constructive manner, let's just let it be even in your own society. in your own gated community, maybe you are just turning up, making that you would understand that this is what actually makes a difference, you speaking up.
Wonderful. Okay, Avli, I would have loved the dog coming over to you and being part of the session. I really love that, to be honest. And that's also something very woman thing, A child comes into the session. I just love it, to be honest.
Me too.
I would love people to start embracing these scenarios that women carrying babies, women carrying dogs, or men carrying dogs, or men carrying babies to meetings, to corporate rooms, to parliament. It's okay. We are all us. There is no others. Go ahead, Avli.
Thank you, thank you. So I would say that I can speak from my own experience. I
Yes.
studied and not proud, not ashamed that I've studied in the most like eminent institutions, because that was the only way. You can't get like education for a girl. It's difficult because, and for any person coming from that background that I come from, it would be difficult for a family to afford uh, for
Mm.
you to do a double masters. Like who
Yeah.
people would be like, "Ho gaya masters, now like do something with your life." But in a way, like I pursued that in a manner that is possible, that seemed possible for me. And then I got a high paying job as a creative strategist in advertising. And then I realized that if you don't have a purpose in life, like nothing really feels good. So you need that.
Mm.
And I found that in rivers. So I'm
Mm.
I have such deep regard for rivers in that sense that I want to see all of them. I want to see the worst of them and I want to see the best of them because I know they both exist. I've experienced
Mm.
what this ecosystem is, including its people and the
Mm.
non-human beings. So, please, if you want to join this sector, you would be surprised, you would be shocked, you would be disheartened, frustrated, but you would feel alive, which is why I'm here. And of course, like in terms of behavioral change, I would say let women flow more. Like
Yes, very
yeah,
well put. Let
listen,
women
let
flow
them
more.
flow for a bit. They eventually meander and come back, and then they find their own way. So would conversations, so would dialogue, so make them more open, have more space for women and other genders also. Yeah, I think I would
Yeah,
end.
yeah, that's very good way to bring a close to this conversation, and how wonderful it is that we often compare women and water together. And damn the dam, like you have to start damn the dam, and same way it applies for women as well. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Afreen and Avli, for this wonderful conversation. For me, the conversation was just flowing like water, and I hope it was also easy for you and you also enjoyed this conversation. I do hope that you will continue sharing your updates with us as and when you would like to do so. But we will be very keen to hear about your water endeavors in the future. May you continue your water activities, and we also hope that tomorrow you also become inspiration to many more girls and women in the water sector, and you bring more of them with you, along with you walk the sisterhood along with them. We shall here at Monday Munching and Musing with Women for Water continue to do these sessions whenever we get opportunities to have women on board. And if you know someone who is really would like to share their water endeavors and have a conversation with us, we are just 5 sessions now left in this. And I hope there are people who will be very keen to start talking about men in water, but we are not going to do it very soon because we want to start writing the
Hmm.
coffee table book, which we plan to do.
Hmm.
Do follow us in our social media platform and at Wiki's website, because the Water Resource Council does not have its own website, but we are very strongly present in social media. Thank you so much once again, Abdi and Afreen, for this wonderful conversation.
Thank you,
And look forward to having you more and talking more about water and women and many more things. Take care, girls, and thanks to all the participants who are present here. Usually, we are not having many participants in Monday. This is more to record and then bring it to the public platform. Thanks a lot, all of you. Please take care.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Take care. Bye.